I spent a year in California living on the beach and the mountains in this ex-presidential motorcade SUV that I turned into a camper. Before that, I spent 7 years living in Breckenridge, Keystone, and Vail, Colorado. A portion of that time was spent in this SUV as well as a $500 van. When you choose to go on an adventure like this, it could be a really amazing time, or it could be pretty horrific based on how you plan it and how you approach it. You have to think about these adventures like a puzzle. There's all these different elements that if you put them together correctly, it can really be an amazing experience. But if you kind of just go in it shooting from the hip, it could be a really uncomfortable, terrible time as well. One of the first things to take into consideration is definitely the temperature. Does your vehicle have climate control? If not, you have to be really wise about where you're going and what you're doing. Otherwise, it will be extremely uncomfortable. You'll have a real hard time sleeping. You'll want to get out of there as soon as possible. There are a lot of reasons that I chose the vehicle I did. We'll talk a little bit more about that as this video passes. One of the big surprises comparing California to Colorado in the summertime, being right on the beach, right on the coast in Central California. This was Pismo Beach I spent a lot of my time in. Believe it or not, out there on the sunny beach in August next to the palm trees, it's chillier than it is up in the mountains. That water is 52 degrees, it's blowing on you all day. I don't think it broke 80 in either place, but it always felt chilly on the coast in California, something you would have never imagined. So actually, during the daytime in Colorado, it was more comfortable than California a lot of times. In California, I could rarely spend the day in a t-shirt and shorts without getting chilly after a couple hours. Another thing that was real interesting between the two was actually being on the beach itself. There tends to be a lot of fog and clouds that come in and out. In California, you'll get kind of a hole in the weather in the afternoon, maybe around noon to 5 o'clock or so. The sun will want to come out a lot of times. And other days, it can be cloudy. It can be cloudy and foggy all day. So on the California beach, if you are getting a little bit cold or tired of the clouds and fog, all you have to do is head inland like about a mile, even less. You'll have sunny skies. It'll be 5 or 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer. So it's not like you're stuck in foggy, cloudy, somewhat chilly weather in the middle of August there. If you do get a little bit cool or tired of the clouds, just head inland just a little bit. Depending on where you stay, there's going to be a really pretty mountain road somewhere close by that you can park in. Or, there's public parks. There's different places real close by. So it's not like it's just cold and gloomy, but there are some days where it's actually nice to get off of the beach and head inland just a little bit. Colorado, it's a lot more sunny most of the time, and then you'll get these intermittent little scattered thunder showers. They can be pretty severe, but they usually blow right by, and then you'll go right back to sunny days. It's really, there are two polar opposites. Obviously, in the wintertime, California has a way better climate because of that 52-degree water. It doesn't really get down to freezing. Maybe it frosts once or twice, whereas you can get a frost in the mountains in the middle of the summertime too. So it's really interesting. During the day, I prefer the mountains. At nighttime, it gets pretty chilly even in the summer in the mountains, whereas in California, it's pretty mellow in the summertime. And in the wintertime, you'll get down to sometimes to the low 30s, but usually high 30s in the mountains, below zero. You couldn't do this in a vehicle like this in the mountains in the wintertime. It just would not be feasible, although I do know people that have done it. A really important part of having a solid plan is knowing where you're going to be able to camp. You want to camp for free for the most part in places that are unregulated, or at least I do. I use an app called the OnX Off-Road app to find most of my campsites. These are Bureau of Land Management roads, federal forests, national forest roads, where unless otherwise posted, you are able to camp and sleep overnight. I think usually the regulation is 14 days in one place, but because everything I have moves with me as I move, I'm never in one place for more than a night. So I've never gotten on the radar of any sort of authorities or sheriffs or anything like that because I'm always in and out, which is one of the many reasons I chose the vehicle and style of nomad life that I currently live. Now, as far as these national forest roads, there are a lot more in a lot closer proximity up in the Colorado mountains in the area that I was at than down on the Central California coast. They're still there, but you do have to travel a little bit farther if you want to get in and out of town. Currently, I work full-time off of my laptop, But one of the things that made this work was doing food and beverage service jobs where I could show up in a town, tourist towns, make good money, start making tips within a few days of showing up. Here we go, check this out. Literally having red carpets leading right up to where I'm hanging out here, selling beer on the pier. If I've got to be trading my hours for dollars doing something for now to keep this YouTube channel going, this isn't too bad of a way to spend 20 or 30 hours a week. Creating an income when you go to one of these places is really important. I've used food and beverage service off and on when I've had to throughout nearly 20 years of my life because it just makes sense. So if you can swallow your pride a little bit, go out and serve some people, and also you have the guts to show up at these businesses, go and prospect for a job. Don't sit down and spend a bunch of time sending in applications. Print off your resume, show up. If you're in a place like California, there's some certifications you'll need to be able to serve food and beverage. Make sure to have those ready, have those on your resume, show up at a bunch of businesses, hand those out. You're going to find work quick. You'll be able to start making money. You'll be putting cash tips in your pocket within the first week. If you've got the courage to go out door to door and find yourself a job and you've got some experience in the food and beverage industry. Now, of course, in the long term, I ended up working full-time off my laptop, and I've even got a really good Wi-Fi setup in this vehicle, which I made another video about. I'm glad to show you. I'll put a card above so you can see how I have Wi-Fi in this vehicle wherever I go. It was important to me that I had found campsites that were pretty close to town and the commute wasn't too bad. You know, you have to do a little bit of recon. I'm not going to give away any of the amazing spots I found because I've watched them just get ruined by overuse, misuse, and abuse. But for somebody who's really dedicated to doing this for a little while, having some adventures, surviving, thriving, saving some money while you're doing it, using the OnX off-road app will help you really find great places to camp out. There's a second app that I use which helps me find places to camp overnight in town, as well as things like showers and other important items. This app is called iOverlander. When you use these two apps together, it really makes a great resource for most of the things you'll need to find anywhere you go. One really amazing thing the iOverlander app helped me find was that up and down the central California coast, there are a lot of quarter-operated showers because there are a lot of fishermen out there. So you can actually use that app to find quarter-operated showers. And me, I go to the gym literally 12 to 14 times a week, so I've got a Planet Fitness membership. I didn't have much problem staying clean, but not everybody's crazy like me, and sometimes you don't want to have to find a Planet Fitness or a gym to take a shower. So make sure you use that iOverlander app because you can find quarter-operated showers, at least along the coast in California. I haven't really used it in Colorado. What I tended to do there was I just jumped in the lake. You know, it's not salt water, so I jump in the lake every day. It's not humid, it's not hot. You always feel clean when you're in Colorado. It really is two different lives whether you're doing this in California or Colorado. Another thing you want to consider is the cost of gas in your commute. That was the nice thing about the high concentration of national forest roads in Colorado. They were generally closer to the places that you would work, which meant less commute. Gas prices were also cheaper than California. There was one point where my campsite was less than 10 miles out of town, but because there was a big mountain climb and $5 to $6 gas prices at that point, it was costing me like $30 a day just to be able to go to my campsite, go to work, head back home. It just became unmanageable, and that's how I actually ended up finding my spot on the beach that I started camping out instead so I could avoid my commute there. There was a really big difference between Colorado and California when it came to the view of people like myself. Now, in California, there were so many people that were homeless everywhere, so many people that were living out of their vehicles out of necessity. There was a little bit of a negative view of people like myself. So in the mountains of Colorado, workforce housing is pretty much non-existent due to short-term vacation rentals, companies like VRBO and Airbnb. So they really are welcoming to van lifers, to overlanders, to anybody that can come in and be a part of the workforce. During my time in Breckenridge, Colorado, a lot of the businesses actually started opening up their parking lots to allow employees to park and stay overnight because there's just no workforce. There's nowhere for anybody to stay. In California, you just tend to be another one of the people there. I wouldn't recommend when applying for jobs telling people that you're staying in a vehicle, a van, an SUV. They tend to see you as less reliable. And I mean, you are a flight risk. You can't just get up and leave whenever you want. One of the most overlooked aspects of this traveling nomad life is SUVs, a full-size SUV like the Chevy Suburban I'm in, you have plenty enough room to make yourself a bed, to live comfortably. You're going to be out, you're going to be working, you're going to be having fun. So if you give up a few inches of headspace or just a few inches of length, but you trade that for four-wheel drive, you're going to open up an entire world of possibilities, places to park, camp, things you can drive, things you can do. So really think about the type of vehicle you have, because four-wheel drive makes such a huge difference. I would not have wanted to do this on the beach in a van. Especially, I couldn't have gone out on the sand dunes in the way that I would go on some pretty gnarly stuff. I've gone on a lot of pretty gnarly stuff with this, up in the mountains, sand dunes, beaches. You really should consider an SUV with good four-wheel drive, good traction, some ground clearance, as opposed to just a van that has a little bit more headspace. I promise you, if you do it, it opens up a whole world of possibilities that you will be so grateful that you have. Here's an unexpected thing that California actually takes the cake on. It's the cost of groceries. Yeah, things could be a little more expensive there, but they have this place called Grocery Bargain Outlet Market. It is absolutely amazing. I got so much low price, good, healthy food there. It's the cheapest, best groceries I've found anywhere in America. So I actually had that hookup in California and found that that was the best groceries. Now, while you're doing this, if you're like me, you're using this to open up your capacity, to open up more time, to save money. The money you save allows you to focus more time on the things that are really important to you, and not just trading your hours for dollars, just so you can trade those dollars for food, for stuff. We need groceries. What we don't need to do is eat out a lot, spend it on expensive food, and alcohol. Man, alcohol, what a waste of your capacity. You're giving up so much money that is then costing you time that you could be doing something so much better with. So I think it's really important that while you're doing this, you consider how much you spend eating out, getting fast food, drinking, doing things that are really unnecessary to be able to live this amazing life, to travel, to have fun. And if you can work less than 40 hours a week, that gives you more time to go out and either enjoy yourself or to pursue real purpose. So start learning how to actually prepare some of your own food. For me, I kept it so simple. I've been working on strength training and getting lean, and I wanted to do it with very little effort. So I had a lot of tuna packets. I had a lot of beef jerky. I had a lot of basic things that were just high in protein. Yeah, they were preserved. There was sodium. Not perfect, but I still got more lean. Another healthy and simple high protein, low calorie food item is sugar-free, fat-free Greek yogurt. I'd grab a 4-pack, usually twice a day. It really helped me keep my macros under control without having to put much effort into meal prep. While you're living this nomad life, if you prepare your own food and have some preserved food, you're going to end up saving so much money over time. And which is better, sitting in a Chipotle or looking over a mountaintop, looking out on the beach and enjoying your meal? Seriously, save yourself some money, eat healthier, stop eating out, don't go to restaurants, start cooking your own food. It's all going to work out way better. At the end of the day, this is really an amazing life. This is something that you will look back on for your entire life when you're old and say, I can't believe I did that. I'm so glad I did. But you really do have to look at it like it is a puzzle, like it's a game. How can I make this as comfortable, convenient, fun, awesome, beautiful, and amazing as possible? Make sure to plan this out properly with an idea of what you want your life to look like. And if you do put some time and effort into figuring this out, maybe doing a bit of a shakedown run and figuring out what you need, it's going to be great. Now I'll do another video about all the things you want to make sure that you have with you, including things like a jumper box in case your battery dies. And one thing I've had since year 2000 is a AAA roadside assistance membership. I just got a video the other day from one of my buddies who's used it twice this year. $50 a year. They'll get you up to 6 tows. They'll come out. They'll change your battery. They'll give you gasoline. They'll jump your vehicle. They'll unlock your car. It's really the best safety net that you could possibly have. I'm not currently sponsored by these guys, but I will try to get an affiliate membership. So I'm going to put a link below this video. Maybe by the time you click on that link, I will be, because I truly, truly, truly believe in AAA roadside assistance when you're going to be living a life like this. Whether you're doing this in California, Colorado, or somewhere completely different, it really can be one of the most amazing things you ever do, but you need to go into it with a plan. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, I would really love it if you would come on some of my adventures with me. Watch how I completely changed my life by going on the road, starting my own business, getting myself healthy and sober, and now it's my mission to inspire other people, to show them they can do anything they want if they're willing to put up with a little bit of discomfort, have a vision for themselves and what they want to do, and they're not willing to give up. So make sure to check out the video I just put on this screen. Click the link below this video. I'd love to have you guys along for more of my adventures.